Hello friends, Namaste. It is Professor B.G. Patil from one of the prestigious institutions of North Karnataka, Sri Durudundeshwara Vidya Samvardhaka Sons, Sri Shivrudreshwara Arts College and Town Panchayat Science Institute, Sankeshwar. Friends, today I am here to discuss with you a special topic related to a political thinker, a French political thinker. It is exclusively made for the law students, pre-law students of second semester of Karnataka State Law University, Hubli. Few students have requested me to prepare a video on Montesquieu's theory of separation of powers. Friends, we know that he is a French thinker, born in 1689. He was born in 1689 in an aristocratic family, that is, a rich family. He was the son of a lawyer, and law students have to study him. So his primary education, up to the age of 11, he studied at home only. In 1700, that is at the age of 11, he was sent to a school at Juilly. He studied law there, and in 1714 he was admitted to the grade of counselor, that is the educational system in Swiss French educational system. I am not going to discuss about that. I am not going to discuss at length about his pre-life. But one thing, Montesquieu was a voracious reader of literature and history. A voracious reader, we call him. He was a literary figure of the mid-18th century in France. We have to remember that. When it comes to his works, he has written a book called The Persian Letters. Then he has written another book called Considerations on the Causes of the Greatness of the Romans and The Spirit of Laws. These are the three famous books written by him. So once again, I am not going to discuss about the things. The Considerations on the Causes of the Greatness and Decay of Romans. It's a wonderful book which deals with the causes of success, of political success and failure. What were the reasons for their success? What were the reasons for their failure? All these things has analyzed in a wonderful way. When it comes to separation of powers, we have to remember one thing. The separation of powers deals with separation of governmental powers, separation of constitutional powers that are granted to the government. Friends, we know that in our earlier classes, that is at PUC first year or second year, we have studied that government is an agent of the state. So I am not going to discuss in detail about the definition. But we have to remember that it is the machinery. It is the machinery through which the will of the people is formulated, expressed and realized. See, the will is formulated in the form of law. The will is formulated in the form of law. That is the legislature. The three organs are there in the government. We know that legislature is a lawmaking agency. Executive is a law implementing or enforcing agency. Judiciary interprets the laws and administers justice. We have studied it. There are three organs: legislature, lawmaking; executive, law implementing; judiciary, law interpreting. Montesquieu is of the opinion that these three organs are made with a specific purpose. They have to deal with the functions that are assigned to them. We have to be very careful here. They have to deal with the functions that are assigned to them. When it comes to the concept of performing functions assigned to them, he is of the opinion that the legislature should make the laws, the executive should implement, and the judiciary should interpret. These powers, if they are combined in one person or body of persons or something like that, it leads to misuse of power. That is his concept, my friends. In his book, The Spirit of Laws, published in 1748, he speaks of the concept of separation of powers. His concept of separation of powers is like this. If the legislative and executive powers are united in the same person or body of persons, listen carefully. If the legislative and executive powers are united in the same person or the same body of magistrates, that is a group of persons, he says there is no chance for liberty. There can be no liberty at all according to him. Because it leads to apprehensions. It leads to enactment of tyrannical laws. The legislature makes a tyrannical laws, and when the executive powers are combined with it, the tyrannical laws are executed by the same thing, the same agency, the same body. When law making and law executing power is concentrated in one organ, that leads to tyranny. That is misuse of power. Misuse of power according to him. It means he clearly stated that law making agencies to be different, law implementing agencies to be different. Law making and law implementing power should not be concentrated or clubbed in one body or one person. That is his concept. Then he goes on telling that there won't be liberty if, he says, there won't be liberty if the judicial power, the power of interpreting the laws, what we call the judicial power, is not separated from the legislature and executive. It means he says that the judiciary is to be separated from the legislature and executive. If they are clubbed, if judicial powers are clubbed with legislative and executive, he says the liberty of the subjects would be exposed to arbitrary control. If the judicial powers are clubbed with the legislature and executive, the liberty of the people is exposed to arbitrary control. That according to him is very dangerous. That according to him leads to all the problems. That is why he says they are to be separated. Then he says, if there is an end of everything, there is an end on everything, if the same man or same body, see what he says, There is an end to everything if the same man or same body exercises these three powers. That is, of enacting the laws, implementing the laws, and interpreting the laws. That is an end. That is an end in the sense that leads to chaos, that leads to anarchy, that leads to tyranny, that leads to end of liberty, that leads to all the problems of the people. That is why he is of the opinion that the three organs of the government should work independently in coordination with each other. Then what is that? In his concept of essence of the theory, his essence of theory is something like this. If the legislative, executive and judicial powers are concentrated, see what he says. If the legislative, executive and judicial powers are concentrated in a person or group of persons, or a person or body of persons, he says, it results in the abuse of authority. We say that absolute power corrupts absolutely. A famous political thinker has quoted it. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So he is of the opinion that if these powers are concentrated in one person or body of persons, there is every possibility of abuse of power. Then, the organization in which these powers are concentrated is going to be a tyrannical organization. It is a tyranny. It is an arbitrary rule. Then he says, the three departments of the government ought to be organized in such a way that each of the organ, the three organs, each of the organ should be entrusted. Each of the organ is to be entrusted to different personnel, different person, different agency, different group. The three duties, the three functions of the government are entrusted, that is assigned, given to three different persons or agencies. In simple language, three bodies or three persons should administer each of the three departments of the government. That is, legislature, executive and judiciary are to be administered separately by separate persons or separate group of persons, different group of persons. That is what Montesquieu says. My friends, his view is very clear. He says that each department should perform distinct functions. See, he says the functions of the three departments, all the three departments are distinct. We know it. He says each department should perform the distinct functions within the sphere of the powers assigned to it. The powers are assigned to each department. Every department is assigned with a specialized power. Every department has to perform a specialized duty, a specialized function. It may be lawmaking, law interpreting or law implementing. It has to perform a specialized duty, a specialized function. But it has to perform it in a sphere of powers that are assigned. A sphere is assigned. That is what is called jurisdiction, within its jurisdiction. In simple language, it has to perform it within its jurisdiction. Then he says, no department is to have a control of power over other departments. One department should not control the other department. All the three departments are to be independent. If one department interferes in the functioning of other departments, if one department tries to control other departments, if one department tries to dominate the other department, immediately the department which has been dominated by the has to resist. The sufferer has to resist. That is what he says. By resisting, by revolting, by opposing, all the three organs have to try, all the three organs should try to maintain balance of power. This is what we find in American Constitution. Checks and balances. America has adopted a system called checks and balances. If one department interferes in the other controls it. For example, the American legislature is empowered to make laws. The Congress, the American Congress, the Constitution of America has assigned all the legislative powers, Article 1 of the Constitution of America, with the Congress. It is free to make any law. There is no control of the executive on the law-making power of the American Congress. That is, the president has no power. But remember, the American Constitution is prepared in such a way that the president is given a power called veto power. Through veto power, he resists the power of the Congress, that is the legislature. Article 2 of the American Constitution has given all the executive powers to the President of America. He is the chief executive. He is empowered with all the administrative powers of the country. But remember, his power of appointment, his power of concluding treaties and pacts with foreign countries is restricted because the Senate has to ratify it. It means if the president encroaches the legislature controls him through that and tries to maintain balance and tries to and ensures, I have to say, it ensures smooth, effective and efficient administration. And at the same time, the judiciary is controlled by legislature by restricting the number of judges. The judiciary is empowered to declare the law passed by the Congress, signed by the President as null and void. It means all the three organs work in coordination with each other. Thus, the maintain balance in administration. They are responsible for smooth and effective administration of powers in America. The Montesquieu's theory of separation of powers within the structure of the government is seen in America. The power within the structure, the power may be operated as a balance against each other. The power of one organ is balanced against the power of other. Thus, administration is carried on properly. He is of the opinion that such a separation of powers is essential. He says, such a separation of powers is essential for the purpose of preserving the liberty of individuals. See his face. By separating powers, by the theory of separation of powers, he is trying to protect and preserve the liberty of the individuals and to avoid a tyranny. He wants to have a rule of law instead of lawlessness, we have to say. Through this separation of powers, he wants to have a rule of law in the state instead of lawlessness or anarchy. That is the basic concept of his theory of separation of powers. But there are certain contradictions or controversial interpretations. Of course, whenever a theory is developed, whenever a theory is advocated, naturally we are having critics. They look at the theory from their own angle, their own convenience. Here also, there are certain people who criticize his concept of separation of powers. There is one school of thought which is of the opinion that Montesquieu never advocated complete separation of powers. Their argument is that complete or absolute separation of powers is not, it was not his intention. They have to work, each department has to work independently, but within its sphere. That is what the one school argues. They are of the opinion that legislature is to be elected directly by the people for a fixed term. The executive is to be elected for a fixed term by the people. Then the judiciary is also to be elected by the people. They are of that opinion. There are a lot of criticisms. I'm not going to go in the details of that because the purpose here is why I'm not criticizing. If I criticize and conclude the concept, it is going to be spoon feeding according to me. That is why, my friends, on the basis of my lectures, on the basis of your readings of Montesquieu, refer some other books. On your readings, make 4 to 5 criticism or critical points, critical observations about his theory of separation of powers. Thank you. Thank you, my friends.